The college basketball experience, November 15th, preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
What's up, everybody? This is Cameron Krog from Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Shout out to the Broad Stop. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, man. Welcome to the college basketball experience. Tuesday, November 15th, preview and picks episode. I've been drinking. All right, I am, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swigga, Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, man. We're only 8 days into the season, and this season is fucking bananas. I can't wait to talk about it. I am joined by my co-host and host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, former video coordinator for Bob Huggins at West Virginia. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, Ryan?
Colby, I'm doing well. You know, you said host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, so shout out to my team for ending the EAGLES undefeated season tonight.
There you go. Redskins get it done against the Eagles in a wild one.
Yes, it was.
And you had that going on while you had just an unbelievable college basketball day. I mean, for all of us, I'm saying for our sport, you know, college basketball, unbelievable day today. And I think we just have a lot to talk about. I want to touch base on just a lot of things here well, first off, currently going on, we've had some major upsets today, and we might be on the verge of another. Utah Tech, aka Dixie State, is I believe they were 17-point dogs, and they're knotted up with Washington right now in Seattle. Well, that's going on. UCLA is also up 31 right now on Norfolk State, and we got Yale, Hawaii tipping off at midnight on the East, 9 p.m. on the West. So shout out to that. We still got another game to watch tonight. Let's go.
Bring your toothpaste.
Yes, I will bring my toothpaste. Let's just start out. Let's go chronologically to recap before we get to a loaded Tuesday slate. The Maine Black Bears, 20.5-point dogs. I mean, they never trailed. They went the whole game without trailing. We gave you that on the show, folks. If you follow us, I know Noah and yourself had it on the money line. Oh, man.
17-1. Shout out to Noah Beanick.
Oh, man. Unbelievable job there. Unbelievable job. Shout out to the chat. It's moving along. But, I mean, this is uncharacteristic, I would say, that we've seen that much or this much parity 8 games in. And I want to I'm gonna quote a John Rothstein tweet here. I'm gonna pull this up, but I completely agree. And I actually think we're seeing it on the college football front with Alabama. Remember, folks, subscribe to the college football experience. But his recent tweet was this: the transfer portal has completely changed the dynamic of bye games. Mid-major programs now have access to guys they couldn't recruit ever in high school. and power conference programs don't have the rhythm and chemistry they used to have because of the roster turnover. It's a whole new ball game now. I agree here because whether it's football or whether it's basketball, you saw it whether it was either App State going into A&M. A&M's got the third best talent composite, I believe, in college football, and then you see it on the basketball front. We're 8 days in. We're going to come back to that question in a second, but that's one upset there. 20.5 point dog as Maine gets it done. But let's talk about. I mean, Delaware State had Villanova on the ropes a little bit. Did you catch any of this game?
Yeah, no, Delaware State went up 10 early. They hit him right in the mouth, and I'm like, oh, man, is Villanova a complete fraud this year? But they battled back, but we gotta monitor Villanova going forward. They have some holes, and kind of like some other teams that we'll touch on in this slate that, I mean, they're struggling out of the gates early.
Yeah, I mean, and I know they got a couple injuries, but still, Delaware State covered that thing by like 30 points. That was like a 37-point spread or something.
Yeah, no doubt.
We were on it. We were on the right side of it, I believe. I know I was. You took that. You took Delaware State, right?
No, I took Nova. I thought it was a bounce back. And then, no, I'm taking the L on that one. I didn't lock it, though.
Keith Landry says Jay Wright's not walking through that door. They're still without Justin Moore, but I agree. Like they have some concerns. Princeton, we were on Princeton against UMBC, right? Princeton won by 30. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew. Impressive win
the
there.
Ivy.
Yeah. Florida Atlantic, and I do want to come at you a little bit here because I was calling my night complete last night. You said, what about the Florida parlay? We should lock up Florida Atlantic. So I'm like, you know what? You're on to something. We're locking up Florida minus 13 against Florida Atlantic. The Owls come into Gainesville and say, hey, Todd Golden, take this. I mean, what the hell? They were 13. I think this even ended at like a 14-point dog. What was the closing line here? 14, I believe. What a dub for the Owls. They win by 2. They almost gave away this game because they pulled a Chris Webber and called a timeout when they didn't have enough time. They didn't have any more timeouts left. But the Owls get the dub. Wow. What do you let's so that game, and then I want to touch base on where is the other game? Troy as a 14-point dog, as a 10-point dog beats Florida State at Florida State. Florida State moves to 0-3. I know they got guys out, but they still should be winning these games. They still have Caleb Mills, who was the AAC Player of the Year a couple years ago. Then you have, Stetson was another one that went on the money line. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you have the what's the other game? Northwestern State beats TCU, right? Northwestern State beats TCU 64-63. Now, going back to the comment that John Rothstein said, you add these in, you mix in the fact Louisville's 0-2, you mix in Florida State lost to Stetson, lost to Troy, you go Colorado loses to Grambling. You're seeing this parity all throughout the sport right now. I believe his tweet and logic in the tweet holds water because I've watched college basketball my whole life. 7 days in, you don't see this many upsets. I mean, it's unbelievable. Every game that you think is going to be even the ones that they barely, like Providence winning by 1 or whatever, or Georgetown winning by 1 against Coppin. This is a little different this year. What do you make of the tweet, and what do you make of? Do you think he's got something? He's got a good point there, or what do you think?
No, I definitely think he has a point. And I think it's when you bring in all these transfers, and that's the era we live in now, and it takes a little bit to mesh, and you're figuring out who can do what with these coaches. And all the pressure in these bye games are on the high majors. I mean, the low majors usually have upperclassmen, juniors, and seniors, and they can pick off these high majors. Throw Villanova in there. I mean, they've looked vulnerable in Oklahoma. I mean, those two have – they've squeaked by at least, but
you can go conference by conference at this point, whether it's Florida Gulf beating USC or UC Irvine beating Oregon, or go to the Big 12, like you said, to TCU, Oklahoma. It's really unbelievable. But I actually think it's the same. It's in football too. People say, well, why is Alabama down? I think it's because of it, and I know this is not a football podcast, but I'm saying like this thing changes everything. Other teams can go out.
College athletics.
Yeah, it changes everything. And I think you're going to see a lot more parity across the board in both sports and shit. I wouldn't surprise me in college baseball too. So either way, it's been wild. Other games we have to talk about. Miami, Ohio covered for you. They were down early. You got the lock here. I picked Miami, Ohio. I didn't bet it, but shout out to you. They were down early, and I was like, "Oh man, are we gonna eat shit on this?"
Travis Lexington steal, baby,
getting it done, getting the cover. Even though Georgia, Mike Snow White got the dub. So hey, it was a nice situation there. The Charlotte 49ers rolled Maryland Eastern Shore. We gave you that one here. -12, 12.5. No sweat.
Never in doubt.
Sweat. Tennessee Tech and Marshall. You were on the right side of that. I think we split on that one. As Marshall wins by 26. What else? Portland, Kent State. You were on the right side of this one too. Kent State gets it done. I took Portland plus. I think it was 5.5 or 6. That was stupid. I shouldn't have taken. That's going across country. I just felt like that's a fucking far trip. Shouldn't have done that. My fault. Navy. We were both on the wrong side of Navy. Coppin State. Juan Dixon and Coppin State get the dub by 7. You locked up, and if you remember the end of last night's episode, I was considering locking up DePaul, and you talked me into Florida instead of DePaul.
Yes.
Well, the DePaul.
I should have done both.
No, it worked out for you. You still bet it, but I should have done both. DePaul goes into Minneapolis, wins by 16, beat their ass, really.
I was going to say Minnesota's not very good at all. But this DePaul team, we did the preview a couple weeks back. They're sneaky. It's not the traditional DePaul team.
Stubblefield's a good coach, and I think he's bringing in more talent than they were used to from years previous. UCF rolled Western Illinois. That's one where you rolled with the Leathernecks. I rode with UCF. UCF held them to 37 points. Johnny Dawkins. Whew. That's some defense you're playing there. I do want to just key on the fact that North Alabama beat Blue Mountain College. Shout out to the TV show Blue Mountain State by 40. But then you have Liberty, NC Central. Now, I almost backdoored this. You went with the Flames, the Flaming Libs. You came through. I almost backdoored this because Liberty was up a lot. And I know, Darius McGee went off, had 27 points. But the Flames get the dub. You got the win there. Cornell St. Francis. We eked it out. Big Red, baby. Big Red, fresh. Taste all good and shit like that. I don't know. There's some 80s song with Big Red. I don't know. But either way, Big Red gets the dub in the Ivy League. St. Joe's, Lafayette. Now, this is one you rolled with St. Joe's. I rolled with Lafayette. We got the dub here, or I got the dub here with Lafayette plus 10. And then Stetson. We gave away Stetson on the money line. Ray Finkel, baby. Finkel and Einhorn. Einhorn and Finkel. Did you ride GW last night, or did you ride Hofstra?
I had GW.
Okay, well, you hit on that. I did not. It was Hofstra -7. Hofstra won by 5. Speedy Claxton's team, they're still looking good. Estrada had 33 points tonight, man. And even crazier for GW was James Bishop had like 45 points. Unbelievable. But Hofstra gets the dub. Charleston, we locked it up. We moved this line.
No doubt.
Got it last night. Hope you got it last night. Charleston Chews win in overtime. This game was insane, by the way. This game was insane. Charleston was up by like 15 at one point. Then at one point, it looked like we were going to win by 30. At another point, I thought we were going to lose the game. We win in overtime. Wild fucking day. Duquesne, South Carolina State. Man, we were on the wrong side of that one. South Carolina State got whooped by Duquesne up there in Pittsburgh.
Bob Huggins was in attendance.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
nice.
he was at the Duquesne game for Eric Martin. But the travel's starting to catch up. Hey, real quick, back on College of Charleston. It was nice waking up to that text this morning saying, "Hey, look at the Charleston line. It swung from a dog of 3.5 all the way to a favorite of 3.5."
Well, when a couple sharps, as in ourselves, are doing nightly podcasts of picking games.
No
maybe
doubt.
maybe we move a number or two if I had to guess.
Or whatever those guys say nowadays, right?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, we locked up Florida State, or I did. Did you join me on this? I thought
Yes. Yeah, no, I locked
no more.
up.
They're officially
No
done.
more.
That was strike 3.
Yeah.
That was strike 3.
Yeah.
You're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Troy wins at Florida State. Florida State had
never close.
Yeah, they had like 20 turnovers. I watched.
They're terrible.
I watched the whole fucking game. They're not good, and they have some real problems because I don't think that schedule gets. They have Florida on deck now. I guess the good thing is Florida didn't look great tonight. After that, you have like Mercer, who's decent. Purdue, Siena, Virginia, Louisville, St. John's. I don't know where your wins are going to come from. Might be time to check out and retire over there, Leonard Hamilton. I hate to say it, but
they need to play Louisville.
Yeah, someone's got to get a dub, right?
No
Belmont. Doubt. Okay, I lost my ass on Belmont. I had Belmont -1.5. Did you catch any of this game?
Yes, I watched the whole second half. Brutal. I mean, up double digits at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I turned it off. They were up.
It's a rivalry game.
They were up. Yeah, they stormed the court, man. Shout out to Lipscomb.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when they were up 13 or something, I was like, oh, I got this in the bag. It's -1.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Absolutely brutal. When they scored, it was pretty much like a buzzer beater. It was like a second and a half left. Was absolutely. I'll say this though. I lost money on this game. It sucked. But as a college basketball fan, this was a fantastic game. Lipscomb, Belmont. This is the games like that are the ones that like the everyday fan, the one that says, "Oh, I watched March Madness stuff," but they don't realize how great college basketball is because they miss out on games like that. That game was absolutely fucking awesome. Louisiana Tech, Texas Tech. I lost money on this one. This one killed me. It was like a 13-point. It was right on the number. The final like 2 minutes of the game, and La Tech gets the cover. Just brutal. Just brutal. So that's what I'm saying. I had like a great night picking games again, but not the greatest on my locks because of Belmont, because of Florida State, because of Texas Tech blowing this cover. Oral Roberts, Houston. We were on the right side of this, but of course I forgot to lock this on tally site, but we locked this last night. Boom!
No doubt.
Houston -20. That thing cashed. Even got a text. Shout out to Cameron Kerr. Does a lot of work behind the scenes on the college basketball experience, and he's at Circa in Vegas. He's like,
he liked Oral Roberts.
Yeah, he's like, I'm taking Oral Roberts tonight. And I go, don't do that. Don't do that.
I woke up to that message. I said, "Oh, you're a dangerous man. Don't bet against these Cougars. Anybody. They have looked the best among anybody in the country so far."
I think you're right. I think they look like the best
from an
team.
eye test.
Yeah.
Eye test. I mean, they're on a mission right now.
Yeah. Little Rock, Central Arkansas. Boom. I hit on the Bears of Central Arkansas. Who'd you ride in this one?
I took the home team.
Central Arkansas. You're right.
A
couple of sharps over here. Yeah. Picking the Bears to win. Idaho State.
ESPN the Ocho.
Idaho State did cover against Utah. Utah still held them to 58 points, but
the Bengals.
And then, of course, Baylor puts it on Northern Colorado. Baylor was fucking with me with the Norfolk State game. I don't know. Can you figure that out? These large spreads?
No, I can't figure Baylor out. I mean, they're kind of going through the motions right now. They're really good, so we'll see. I mean, they'll be tested here in a couple of weeks in their preseason tournament.
Yeah, I watched a lot of this game. Wofford and Drake. This was a good basketball game. And once again, the SoCon comes through for me on a 12-point cover. Wofford only loses by 8. Gets it done. Drake is good in the MVC. I know
Drake is really, really good.
Yeah, Noah was mentioning that in the college basketball Discord. Once again, folks, hop in the Discord. Talk college hoops with the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. UIC 67, Jacksonville State 60. Boom! Gave this out on the money line. Wrong team favored. Let's go. It's only a 3-point spread. And then our lock war, IUPUI. So you were up 1-0 in our lock war. Now we are now 1-1 because Chicago State coming through for me, getting it done by 10. I was sweating this one, man. When at halftime, oh man, what was I thinking betting on Chicago State? Nope. Come back, get that dub. The heart of champions in the Chicago. I was completely let down by Butler, even though Butler closed the game. You know, they looked like they were going to lose by like 15. They closed it on a little bit of a run, but I don't understand. I still think Butler is going to be my surprise team in the Big East. Can we make a case that Penn State might be better than what we think?
Yeah, I mean, they drilled Winthrop. I was surprised that Penn State won the game. I mean, we both gave out Butler money line last night, so but I give Butler credit. I mean, they were down 15 and they could have mailed it in on the road, but they battled back and they did give us a cover. But Penn State, I think is a little better than we're giving credit for.
Well, the reason why I mentioned it is because the Big Ten is going to be, well, coming into the season, we thought it would be wide open. Mm-hmm. After watching, it's only been a week of basketball, but we saw Michigan win against Eastern Michigan, but they struggled a little bit. Wisconsin looked all right. I guess all the teams that we thought would look good right now, that's kind of one conference that really has done a pretty good job of avoiding the upset. Trying to think if anyone's got upset in that conference. I know Minnesota almost did by Western Michigan, and when Minnesota lost to DePaul today, but
Minnesota might be the worst team in the league.
Maine gave Nebraska a game. Part of me thought that was Nebraska being terrible, but I'll be honest, I was impressed by Maine today. I think Maine's better. I think they're improved. Utah State.
Phoenix.
Oh, wait, what's he saying in there?
No, I was saying that's Noah Phoenix team, the Maine Bears.
Yeah, he told me he was thinking about moving out there, getting a cabin.
He's moving up there to the Northeast.
Santa Clara 74, Utah State 96. I told you. I mean, look, I know I didn't tell you as in I'm locking it up, but Logan is a tough place to win, man. I even think, like, if you're San Diego State, like, that's the spot where you could catch that L in the regular season. They win by 22 against a decent Santa Clara team. I was all over this one. Sacramento State being the better team. I said wrong team favored. They beat Denver. They beat those Pioneers. All right. Can I keep the lock music going? Because I did hit on. This is why you get the SGPN app, folks. Texas A&M Commerce. First off, they're new to D1, much like all these Queens and all these other schools we've been talking about. But Texas A&M Commerce, I believe they closed at plus 415 on the money line. I hit on that thing. Let's go, baby, as they win in overtime against Air Force. We were on the right side of Illinois against Monmouth. We were on the right side of Creighton against Holy Cross. Lock that thing up. We should have.
That was a sweat.
It was a little sweatier than I thought. I thought, hey, this is going to be an easy one.
Yeah, no, the walk-on took the 3. I said, no, don't you dare go in.
Dude, Weber State. We were off on Weber State in Fort Collins. We were off. They got waxed in Fort Collins.
Yeah, they got drilled.
We should have locked up Tennessee State, like we said. We gave this. We talked about the possibility of doing this last night. They win by 11 against Alabama A&M. Mississippi Valley State covered against Eastern Washington. I was on the wrong side of that, and we were on the right side of UCLA, Norfolk State. And currently, Utah Tech is down 3 to Washington, so we might have a 5th double-digit dog hit today, or a 6th. I don't even know.
No doubt.
Biggest takeaway before we hop on: what were the most impressive teams to you today? What was obviously, I guess, the Maine Black. Anytime Maine and Northwestern State, anytime you win as a 20-point dog, it's fucking incredible. But what about the biggest headlines? Florida State, probably. TCU.
Yeah, I mean, both Florida schools being in trouble, TCU as well. But I mean, Boston College is really bad. I mean, they almost lost to Cornell the other day.
And the team they played after. They should be
Detroit.
Yeah, they're very close to being 0-3. They're very close to being 0-3.
I mean, yeah. So their margin of victory right now is 1 when they played Cornell, Detroit, and Maine. So no, I don't know how they're going to win many games in the ACC, but I think just to continue what you said, the parity in college basketball with all the transfers and the NIL, it's just a lot of moving parts and teams trying to find their identity this early in the season before Thanksgiving.
I mean, it makes for just highly like there were so many good games today, man. Like I get it, the slate. We weren't like super hyped about the slate, but
Yep.
I watched today and I felt like it was like a college basketball Saturday in like January because of how many good games there were. All right, let's get to tomorrow. But before I get there,
shout out to J Mark in the chat right now.
That's a legend right there. Shout out to J Mark, hell of a good guy. Listen to this. Subscribe to the NFL Gambling Podcast. Subscribe to the Fantasy Football Gambling Podcast. Subscribe to the XFL Gambling Podcast, the USFL Gambling, every fucking thing. What am I forgetting, J Mark? There's more out there. Folks,
I'm drinking his Iowa bourbon right now.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
He's got me hooked.
We have some here at the studio. I just went with Angel's Envy just because it was right there.
Why? Because Because the Bears keep losing head-to-head bets. They lost to the Giants, and then he sends Kramer a bottle, and then they lose to the Redskins, so he sent me a bottle.
Pretty soon he's going to end up at a list or on a list at his local post office. They're going to be like, dude, why are you here again? You're just sending shit out. Before we get to today's game, I want to tell folks out there that the college basketball experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. I feel like I could take a minute here, and I'm trying to quickly pull something up. It made me laugh. Oh man, I don't know if I can pull it up this quick. Let me just start by talking about tomorrow. And damn it, there's not a lot of morning games tomorrow. All right. Not a lot of morning games, which bother me. All right. I want some morning games. All right. Please help us help you. All right.
Are you talking about who Youngstown State's playing?
Well, they get Grace Bible at 8 a.m. I'm excited.
Grace Christian.
How would you like a full scholarship to Grace Bible, Colby? You remember the movie Major League? They call Lou the owner, and they're like, how would you like to manage the Cleveland Indians? He goes, well, I got some drywall I got to put up. That's the way I would feel if they offered me a scholarship to Grace Bible. But anyway, they're taking on Youngstown State. We don't have a line on that. I can't find what I was looking for. I was essentially looking for someone's YouTube comment of these guys are just drunk making picks.
Right? I saw that. Yes, I saw.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I'll tell you what, this is pretty successful drunk making picks. So for what I've seen on the tally site for us this week. Yeah, drunk making picks and hitting 20-point dogs. Fuck you, whoever left that comment. All right. All right, let's hop into this because this slate Let's do it.
is absolutely fantastic. And I know while we sweat out that Grace Bible line, all right, because I don't know that Vegas is going to be, diving in trying to find that Grace Bible line by the time this podcast is done. But Stonehill catching 25 at Providence. Say, who's Stonehill? Well, it's one of those D1 schools that we hit. That was another dog we gave away.
That was over Army.
Yeah, 10.5-point dog. Boom. Some drunks picking winners. That's what we're doing. 25 points is a lot of points. It's so many points that I'm going to take the points against Providence. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll take the points. Stonehill's one of our darlings as well. They're in the Tommies category with us.
I agree. All these I hit on A&M Commerce tonight. Something about this. All these new schools. All right. All these
Southern Indiana.
Yeah. All these new schools are doing it for us. Okay. Super intrigued at 3:00 to watch Appalachian State and Louisville. Appalachian State is undefeated. They beat North Carolina Central in overtime. They're not that bad. They made the tournament 2 years ago. They head to Louisville. They're catching 5.5 points. I mean, why would I take Louisville? Talk me. I'm curious what you're doing, but like, why would I take Louisville? I think Appalachian State's like somewhat decent. They have what's his name, Tyree Boykin had a big game and he played good for them last year. Why should I not take Appalachian State?
You're not going to hear it from me. I'm taking Appalachian State, locking it up. The Mountaineers, give it on the money line too. Plus 210. This is an easy pick.
Let's go. I mean, Louisville lost to a D2 school right before the season started. They lost to Bellarmine. They lost to Wright State. Now, I think Wright State, personally, is probably better than Appalachian State. Bellarmine, though, I feel like Bellarmine and Appalachian State may be on the same level. So why would we do it if we're getting 5.5 too? And I will ride that money line. Let's go. Northwestern, undefeated Northwestern, heads to undefeated Georgetown. Northwestern's laying 1. I'm locking up Georgetown. There's no way that Northwestern has enough talent to win this game. There's no way. I get it. Patrick Ewing underachieves. Maybe I'll be on suicide watch tomorrow night, but dude, I look at the Georgetown roster. I look at the Northwestern roster. I did some prep on the sport. We covered this particular game on the Sports Gambling Podcast show this morning. There's no way. There's no one on Northwestern. And by the way, Northwestern played, I think maybe, I know we think IUPUI is the worst team in D1 basketball this year. I think Northern Illinois might give them a run. Northern Illinois is going to be horrible this year, I think. So their two opponents are Chicago State and Northern Illinois. Did we learn anything from them being 2-0? I don't think so.
No.
Georgetown, now to be fair, Coppin State beat Navy today. I think they're actually somewhat decent.
Yes.
The Green Bay game was a little bit alarming, though, because they were only up 2 at halftime, but they did cover in the second half. I look at their team. I see Primo Spears. I see Brandon Murray. I see Wahab. They're too talented. I'm locking up Georgetown. What are you doing here?
I'm with you. I think Georgetown's going to drill them. Northwestern sucks. I mean, they beat Chicago State and Northern Illinois, like you said. Those are 2 of the worst 5 teams in Division I. Give me the Hoyas. I think they win this by double digits.
You locking it?
Oh, yeah. I'm locking that up with you. Yep, I'm coming with you.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Hoyas, baby.
Yeah, Bulldog at both like them Georgetown Hoyas.
That's an Outcast reference there about Georgetown. I happened to find.
I was about to say Pat Ewing can't lose this game. I mean,
dude, if he loses this game, they got to throw him down those the Exorcist stairs. Throw him down those stairs. If he loses this game, he can't lose this game. They gave him an extra year. Yeah. Mercer is at Georgia State. It's actually a pretty good game. Georgia State is laying 2.5 points last I saw. Let me just double check this. I'm actually seeing it at 3 this very second. I think Georgia State's going to win this game. I'm going to lay the 3. I'm not locking it because I can see, Mercer's located in Georgia as well. That's a little brother angle a little bit. I think they're going to get the dub, though. I think Georgia State will get the dub, but what are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to lay the 3 too. I'm not going to lock this one. This is an interstate matchup, but no, I'm going to lay the 3 with Georgia State with you.
It should be a fun game to watch.
No doubt.
Wright State is hosting Bowling Green. I was impressed when Bowling Green, smacked Oakland the way that they did. Bowling Green's catching 7.5. I'll be honest. I went back and forth on this. Originally I was like, I'm taking Wright State. And then I was like, no, Bowling Green looked good against Oakland. Bowling Green a couple years ago, to me, was the hardest team in America to handicap. It was like one night they would look really good and lose by 1, like at Ohio State. And then the next night they would beat IUPUI by 1. And it would just be like, it was really hard. I'm taking the 7.5 with Bowling Green, though. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, same. And honestly, sprinkle a little bit on the money line. I'm not going to lock it up, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Wright State's coming off the big win against Louisville, so this is a letdown potential spot.
They're both in Ohio too. I mean, they probably know,
Yes.
there's probably a lot of familiarity there with those programs. Morehead State is catching 19 at West Virginia. Curious what I know you're laying the 19. I know you're laying the 19, but Morehead State 2-1 in the Valley, or 2-1, but yeah, I guess they haven't played anyone in the Valley, but they just beat Bellarmine or whatever the fuck their name is. What are you doing here?
So, like I said, every time we get to West Virginia, I'm a Hugs guy. I take West Virginia every game, but we are coming off the backyard brawl, so beware.
That's true. Coming off the backyard brawl.
Backyard brawl beatdown, by the way.
That's true. That's true. You gotta throw
it.
There we go. There we go. You gotta throw that in there. Where the hell is my West Virginia song? I will join you. Actually, no, I'm gonna take the points here. But
I don't blame you.
But Moneyline Mac is taking the Mountaineers here.
Morgantown, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Morgantown, WP.
All right. Classics.
I will be there.
Oh, hell yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Season ticket holder.
I don't have a line. There you go. I do not have a line. Has anyone seen a line on Morgan State and Akron? Not seeing it right now. Let me double check. Let me just check one other site. But I'm not seeing that. Buffalo's catching 19.5 at UConn. It's too many points, right? Buffalo's athletic. I gotta take the 19.5. I gotta take the 19.5 there with Buffalo. What are you doing here?
No, I'm gonna take the points too. I don't want to lock this one just because Buffalo let me down against JMU. So I need to see something from Buffalo before I lock them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're laying the points?
No, I'm taking the points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but I'm not locking it.
Yeah, I'm not locking it either, just because this is probably UConn's most talented team in the Hurley era. We'll see as the season gets a little juicier for UConn, but why do I not? Do you guys see this Morgan State line? I don't. Rice is at Middle Tennessee. Rice is catching 10. Give me the Owls. Who got blown out at Pepperdine? But hey, maybe Pepperdine's decent. I'll take the 10 with Rice. Is this an early CUSA matchup that they're just throwing in the middle of here? Or impressive first week of the season? Hey, give us some conference games. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the points in the early conference matchup. Yeah, no, they tried to sink this one in on us.
Yeah. I'm excited for that now. I those conference games always matter more, so I like watching those. I don't think I have a line on Bucknell St. Peter's either. Chat, if you get to that, I see Akron minus 13.5 from Noah. So Morgan State at Akron. Okay, Akron obviously beats UAB. No, that was Toledo. Akron lost to Mississippi State, and they beat South Dakota State in the opener. Meanwhile, Morgan State 1-2. They played VCU kind of tough. Only lost to VCU by 15. Only lost to Xavier by what? I guess that was 23. 13.5. 13.5. Give me the points in Morgan State. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'll take the points. Too many points here.
Yeah. I think you just got to take the points there. All right. And if you can find me, Noah, if you can also find me the
4.5.
What's that? The Bucknell St. Peter's?
Yep. He said St. Peter's favored by 4.5.
Oh, I'm all over St. Peter's. I'll lock that up. Well, what has Bucknell done? They're 2-0. Damn, they did smack Niagara. Okay. I won't lock it up, but I'm taking St. Peter's. I feel fairly decent about that too, because St. Peter's, I think, is more talented than we realize. I get it; they got smoked by Seton Hall, but I do think they're better than what we think. They beat NJIT by 14. Actually, you know what? I'm locking it. Let's go. St. Peter's minus the points. Let's go. Bucknell, it's a fun little story. Your 2-0 season. Not tomorrow, buddy. What are you doing there?
No luck for me here. I'll take the Bison with the points. St. Peter's burned me the other day.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Winthrop, Mortimer. Winthrop's catching 18.5 at the Jungle. Taking on Auburn. Winthrop keeps a decent basketball program, but Auburn, that place is tough. But Auburn's been tough for me this year. They covered against Mason, but they didn't cover against South Florida. They were down a lot of the game against South Florida. South Florida's 0-3. Give me Auburn. I'm banking on the Jungle and the athleticism to be too much for Winthrop. What are you doing here?
I'll take the points, but like you said, I don't have a good feel on this game. I think it's right around that 15-20 mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. This is a tough one. I feel like, I just feel like they're going to be so much bigger and athletic than Winthrop, but the Eagles do fly high in any weather. Central Connecticut State is at St. John's. Central Connecticut State's getting 27.5. I'll take it, I guess. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll take it. Central Connecticut screwed me the other day with Quinnipiac, so yeah, no, I guess I'll take the 27.5.
Some of these
bastards.
I got, we're going to do a segment. Remind me at the end of this which 20-point dog is going to hit, because we're seeing it a lot in college basketball.
No doubt.
Binghamton catching 19.5 at Binghamton sounds like a fucking golf course. You know what I mean? Sounds like you just, honey, I'm out. I'm going over to Binghamton, shoot 9. You know what I mean? They're catching 19.5 at Maryland. What are you doing here?
Binghamton, Maryland. I'm going to lay the points with Maryland. Maryland's due for they haven't looked that great early, but I feel like they're due for a big blowout win. I mean, they beat Niagara, they beat Western Carolina, so I think they poured on Binghamton.
I'll join you. I'll lay the points with the Terrapins at home. Vanderbilt is at Temple. I'm very curious what you're doing.
Here we go. Temple
is laying 4. I'm locking up the Owls. I think this team is talented. They fell asleep at the wheel against Wagner, the vacuum company, to start the season. Then they take down Nova, but to be fair, I guess, how good is Nova? But meanwhile, Vanderbilt lost to Southern Miss and Memphis. They're 0-2. They might be in the more desperate spot. Believe it or not, these two players that are coaching Temple's coach Aaron McKee, Vanderbilt's coach Jerry Stackhouse, were once traded for each other. Yes, Jerry Stackhouse was on the Sixers, got traded to the Pistons for Aaron McKee and a slew of other players and picks. It's pretty cool. What are you doing here?
I'm locking up the Owls with you. Give me Temple minus the 4.
There. Fucking go. Let's go. Dude, the Temple backcourt.
They're good.
What's it? Khalif Battle?
I don't know how they lost to Wagner.
I have no idea either. Wagner, I mean, they had to just be asleep at the wheel, but Temple's backcourt of Damian Dunn and Khalif Battle, those two guys are combining for, I think it's 44 points a game. I don't know that Vandy will have an answer for them. Next up, we go to Utah Valley's catching 10.5 at Wake Forest. It's a far trip, man. This reminds me of the Portland-Kent State game, where normally I would say, I got to take the points. But that shit is cross-country. Wait, is this one of these neutrals? Is this actually in North Carolina, or is this one of these ones?
No, it's in Winston-Salem.
Okay. So I think they want me. So normally I would take Valley, but since they go that far, give me Wake Forest minus the 10.5. What are you doing?
I'm locking up Wake. I think they're going to drill them. Like you said, cross country. It's a tough spot for Utah Valley. Yeah. Give me the Demon Deacons minus 10.5.
Money line Max locking up the Demon Deacons against the Wolverines. Play the 10.5, he says. Kentucky is taking on Michigan State, one of the games of the night. This game's in Indianapolis at Market Square Arena, or whatever the fuck they call that stadium now. This line's jumped. When I did the show this morning, this was at, I believe it was at 4.5. It's at 7 right now. Kentucky's laying 7, which makes me believe Oscar Tshiebwe is playing if it jumped. Or am I just crazy? Yep. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that means Oscar's playing. But I'm going to take the Spartans because I think Oscar's first game back, it takes a little bit to mesh with new teammates. So I'm going to take the Spartans plus 7. I think it's a close game. And I think Sparty has a chance to win.
Ooh, plus 237 on the money line.
Yeah.
They've lost their last 2 to Kentucky, but I think, one thing that jumped out to me in the Gonzaga game was Sissoko. That guy's athletic.
Yeah.
And if they lock him up on Tshiebwe and he stays out of foul trouble, which obviously he didn't do it in the game on the Battleship, but I see your logic. I'll put it like this: at 4.5, I was on Kentucky this morning.
Yep.
I might Benedict this thing at 7 points. I feel like you got to take State. I feel like you got to take State. 7 points. I feel like you got to take State at 7 points.
I trust Gonzaga more than Kentucky currently.
Yeah. Give me Sparty plus 7, even though I think Kentucky is going to middle this. I think Kentucky wins by 5.
I agree. I honestly like that angle. I think this game comes down the wire.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee Tshiebwe plays.
Yeah, well, shit. If that doesn't, then you love Michigan State plus 7.
No doubt.
South Carolina Upstate's at Clemson. Man, Upstate just stays hitting.
Do they play every night?
Yeah, I feel like they're at Duke. Then they were at somewhere the other. Like, who were they playing yesterday or today? I don't know. I feel like they got their ass up to good. They're catching 21.5 at Clemson. I'll take the 21.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to lay the 21.5 because Clemson's coming off the loss to South Carolina.
That makes a little sense, but no, I'm sticking to it. Little brother angle. The Rattlers of Florida A&M are at Miami Gardens, taking on Jimmy Larinaga. Miami's laying 31.5 points. That's a big number, man. Florida A&M's been on the West Coast for like the start of the season. They're back. Give me the 31. I don't like it. What are you doing here?
I'll take the points. I don't love it either.
Yeah. Stony Brook, the Seawolves. What the fuck is a Seawolf? They're heading up to Rhode Island to take on the Rams. I mean, I'll be honest. I thought for a second maybe we should play the plus 555 on the money line in Stony Brook, but I do have that bad taste in my mouth from the Florida game. What do you should we money line this thing or should we just take the points and just say move along?
No, let's money line it. Fuck it. Let's go Stony Brook.
I said
Rhode Island's look like shit, just like Florida State and all these other programs.
Yeah,
so take a stab at the money line. I'll lock up Stony Brook plus 12.5.
Let's do it. I'm in. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. New Hampshire is at Fordham. New Hampshire's catching 8.5. New Hampshire won their opener, I believe, right? Didn't they win the other day? Didn't they beat Fairfield? I believe they did. They're catching 8.5 at Fordham. It's too many for me. No, it's not. I'm taking Fordham minus 8.5. I can't trust New Hampshire hoops yet. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'll lay the points too. Not locking it though.
Colgate is catching. Bring your toothbrush for this one, not your toothpaste. Bring your toothbrush for this one because Colgate's heading up to Syracuse or over to Syracuse. I don't fucking know. Syracuse is laying 7.5. You know, Colgate won last year, I think, by 15 points in this same building. It's the Carrier Dome that they're calling some other shit now. Should we just ride Colgate on the money line again?
Yeah, no, I'm locking up Colgate. I think this is going to be a ball game. And yeah plus 285 on the money line. Too many points. Let's
go. I'm with you. Colgate's going to be able to play with them. I'm a little concerned about the Edwards, that matchup. He's Jesse Edwards is that could be a nightmare matchup for the Raiders, but I think their cohesiveness is an advantage against the way Syracuse has looked in the one game that I saw against Lehigh. Let's go. Let's take those Raiders. No, we did that one. Chattanooga Chattanooga is in Oxford, Mississippi, taking on the Rebels. I'm taking the 12.5 in Chattanooga. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'll take the points too. I don't love it though.
Yeah, 12.5. It's just a little too many, man.
Yeah, too many.
This is a good game we got going on in Dallas. New Mexico heading into SMU. You got Richard Pitino, and I think New Mexico could be a player in the Mountain West this year. Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. playing ball. Meanwhile, SMU, Rob Lanier, this will be a second home game. Loss at Dayton, but they covered. They got a couple good guards in Nuttall and Phelps. Should be a pretty good matchup. I think one of the better games of the day. What do you? I'm going to take the Lobos and the points. What are you doing here?
I am locking up the Lobos. Sprinkle some on the money line.
Ooh, I like it. I
love Richard Pitino's team.
This line though was, I feel like this morning was at like 4.5, so it's came down a little bit there.
Yeah.
But hey, Moneyline Mac, locking up the Lobos, getting 3.5. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sprinkle some of the money line, he says. I like it. And I even, 3.5. So yeah, this thing opened at 4.5 or 5, down to 3.5, just like that. What else do we got? What else do we got on this slate? We're going to go to, I'm curious what you're doing. And do we have a line on James Madison Howard? Folks, if you can in the chat, if you can find that line, because I am not seeing it at the moment. But tell you one thing, JMU's look really good. So I think I might consider locking this if the line is off a little bit there. But this one should be a game. JMU's got North Carolina, I think, in like a week. So that should be fun. What if let me know if that pops up in the chat. But St. Bonaventure is taking on South Dakota State. That's a far fucking trip, man. That is a far trip. The line is 5. I see 4.5 also out there. I'm locking up South Dakota State. South Dakota State can play. Let's go. Bonnies are young and inexperienced. They're hitting the road. Not so fast. Jackrabbits gonna hop all over their ass. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm locking up the Jackrabbits too. The Bonaventures aren't ready for this game. Give me the
It's
Jackrabbits.
easy to see a
Lock it
tide
up.
turn.
Oh shit! Wrong button. But yes, let's go. Lock it up. Double locks are flying away. They're flying off the shelves. Pacific. I'll be honest, and I need you to talk to me on this one, Ryan, because I feel like we should lock this one up, but I didn't do it. I didn't bet this one yet. Pacific -5 at North Dakota. They've already been there. They won outright against North Dakota State the other night. North Dakota's program's dog shit. This isn't South Dakota. Should we bet? I feel like we should bet Pacific -5, but what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm going right back to our Pacific guys. I'm locking it up.
I'm with you.
Tigers.
I'm with you. Let's fucking go. Let's go. UNC Wilmington is catching 13 in Norman. I do not have a money line available right now. I see the 13, but I do not see a money line available because I would think about, much like Florida State and stuff and TCU, Seahawks can play ball. They were playing with Carolina for a while, man. 13 points. I'm all over UNC Wilmington. What are you doing here?
Keep the locks flowing. I'm locking up Wilmington in Norman, the Seahawks.
Let's go. 3 in a row.
Points.
I'm all over it too, man. All over it. Locking it up. I've already bet this. And I know that it sounds crazy because we're locking up every game. I'm going to take you to another lock. Eastern Michigan is playing Bradley. Eastern Michigan is catching 8.5 points. Plus 308 on the – no, I got it at plus 350 on the money line. It's down to 308 right now, though. Bradley is not bad, but Eastern Michigan has Amani Bates.
Yeah.
I'm locking up Eastern Michigan. Are you joining me?
Yep. I'm with you again. 4 in a row.
Damn. The locks are flowing right now. They're flowing. SIU Edwardsville is taking on Missouri. Missouri's laying 18. Shit. I guess I'll lay the 18. What are you doing here?
I'll take the points, but don't love it. No locks here.
Yeah, no locks. You're crazy if you're locking this one. By the way, I got a great message today. Let me just rattle this off from the one and only Scott Bowser. He goes, dude, this morning I bet St. Francis plus 4.5. Then I listened to your podcast, thinking, and I was thinking that they'd be able to handle it at home. And he goes, but then I heard you say, anyone betting this game's fucking insane. And he goes, just want to let you know I won. And yes, I am insane. Absolutely hilarious. Shout out to him. Check out the Zed Run Gambling Podcast. That's a great show. Marquette Gavitt games here. What'd they go 1-1 today? Butler loses to Penn State. DePaul beats Minnesota. That Big Ten, Big East battle. Marquette is getting 9 in West Lafayette. It's too many points for me. Give me Marquette plus 9. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Sam, I don't love it, though.
Yeah, this isn't a lock. Let's move along. It's a great game, though. Should be fun to watch. The airport, Florida International, the Golden Panthers, fresh out of Hangar 5. They're heading to Raleigh, RDU, to take on the Wolfpack. NC State's laying 14.5 points. What are you doing here? Because I might need help picking this game. My original thought was NC State, but I could see FIU covering this. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the points, but not going to bet this game. FIU, I mean, they haven't played anybody, but, I mean, NC State hasn't looked that good either.
Yeah, I think you take NC State money line if you bet that, which is still silly. Yep. But Fairfield, the Stags, heading to Xavier. Xavier's laying 18.5. I will lay the 18.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to lay it with you.
All right. Memphis is in St. Louis taking on this number. I was surprised at this one. What did I say last night when I saw the Butler line? I said, why? I was shocked at that line, right? I was pretty shocked at this. Memphis is getting 3 on the road at St. Louis, taking on the Billikens. I feel like we should lock up Memphis, but the line, I'm shocked that they're dogs. Memphis beat them by 16 last year in their only matchup. What am I missing here? And should we lock it up and ignore the smell of this line? What are you doing here?
I thought about it, but I'm going to just take the points. I think Memphis, I'm not going to lock it just because of the smelly line, but, I mean, if there is a play, maybe take Memphis on the money line.
Yeah, plus 128 I'm seeing right now. Montana State is at Oregon. I'm with you. I'm taking Memphis, not locking it up. Montana State is at Oregon. They're catching 13, my Bobcats. Give me the points. Oregon just lost to UCI. I'll take the 13. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same. The Bobcats have been good to us.
But let's go to Bozeman. I mean, shit. Montana's a fucking beautiful state if you have never been. Green Bay, the Phoenix, catching 28 in Madison, taking on the Badgers. Give me the 28 in Green Bay. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll take the points. Don't love it, though. I mean, in-state game here.
Yeah. San Diego State is taking on Stanford in Palo Alto. This is a good game. It's on the Pac-12 network. Good luck finding it, fans. Even the casinos in Vegas they struggle to get the Pac-12 network. They're just like they just put the web page with it refreshing every like 10 seconds. San Diego State's laying 4.5. I'm all over that. Lock it up. Wrong team. I guess they're favored, but I'm saying my numbers see this as a 9-point spread. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I guess we'll ride with the nerds here. San Diego State's going to drill them.
You locking it with me?
Yeah, I'm locking it. Give me the Aztecs.
Boom. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Duke is catching 2 against Kansas. Remember Bill self-imposed suspension?
In quotations.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. Duke's catching 2. Everyone's going to be on Kansas, right? Or is everyone going to be on Duke? It's always tough to bet a Duke game as a dog because everyone does bet Duke. I'm on the Blue Devils. I think this is Shire's statement game. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the Blue Devils too. I think Kansas misses Bill Self here.
There we go. Not locking that by any means. Cal is on the road taking on the Tritons of UC San Diego. Cal's laying 4.5. Man, I ate shit with betting Cal opening night against Jim Les and UC Davis. Now Cal's laying 4.5 at UC San Diego. I'll lay the points. Or should we put them in the Florida State bin? My problem is I watched the UC San Diego game against Seattle, and they're not very good either. Give me Cal minus 4.5. I don't like it. What are you doing here?
No, same. I'm going to lay it, but I'm not locking this.
Yeah. Alabama State is at San Jose State. I think we should consider locking this one. San Jose State and Tim Miles, they're ahead of schedule. 12.5 is the line. Now, there is no home court there because people in the Bay Area don't support sports. They're terrible people, okay? I'm joking. I like the Bay Area, but come on. Go out to your fucking sports games. God damn it. You watch like a San Jose State game. It looks like one of my comedy shows. There's like 7 people there, all right? What's going on? They're not bad in football or basketball. Just show up. Go to the game. What do you got going on, you fucking nerds? I'm laying the 12.5. Should I lock it?
I'm not going to lock this one. It's too unpredictable with these two teams. And like you said, they don't show up.
Yeah, it's like literally no home court advantage. It's like you're playing in your fucking driveway of your house, you know? And maybe occasionally your mom checks the mail and tries to cheer you on. You know what I mean? Alabama is laying 12 at South Alabama. I'm taking South Alabama. Little brother angle. It's at South Alabama. Shout out to the Crimson Tide for going on the road here. I know they
Mobile, yeah.
They look good in that Liberty game, man. I'm taking the 12 and the Jaguars. What are you doing here?
I'm going to lock up South Alabama. I think this is a ball game.
Ooh.
Yep.
Money line, Mac, locking up the Jaguars. Let's go. Loyola Marymount, the Lions are heading to the greatest name in all of college basketball, perhaps. Heading to Irvine to take on the Anteaters. UC Irvine, this is a decent game. UC Irvine's laying 6. I'm going to lay the 6, even though they just had that gigantic win. It is a letdown spot, but I just think UC Irvine's going to be good this year. I'm laying the 6. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, same, but it is a letdown, so I'll stay away from betting it.
Yeah. The Matadors of Cal State Northridge are at the Lancers of Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist is laying 10.5 points. I know CB, Cal Bap, keeps a decent program. Can the Matadors find a way to cover 10.5? I'm going to say no. I'm laying the points with Baptist. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going to lay it as well, but I'm not betting it.
Yeah. One of the better games of the evening, Vermont. Vermont on this West Coast trip, man. They made a mistake. They made a mistake. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to go out west. We'll play St. Mary's, and then we'll go down to Cal State Fullerton, play Cal State Fullerton, and then we're going to play USC. Well, they're 0-2, and this is the third leg of this West Coast trip, and I think they have one more after this. USC's laying 11. Man, USC already had that loss to Florida Gulf Coast. I'm still taking the Catamounts plus 11. I guess. I don't know. No, give me USC. They got to be tired. Vermont doesn't have money either. Probably staying at the fucking hotel right up the road. You know what I mean? What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm laying the 11, but I'm not betting this one too. I mean, I like Vermont as a program, but I'm not going to bet them.
Yeah. Dayton, the Flyers are traveling to Vegas to take on the Rebs, the running Rebels. Man, I struggle with this game because I think Dayton's the better team, but Vegas is Vegas, man. You go there, you're doing Jaeger bombs, you're getting all fucked up. Give me UNLV plus 4.5. Sprinkle some on the money line plus 165. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to lock up Vegas here. I think this is a tough spot for Dayton here. So I'm going to lock up Vegas.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Here we go.
Money line back, locking up the running Rebels. Back to the days of Stacey Augman and Elmore Spencer, Moses Scurry, Larry Johnson. Let's go. Let's get this program back rolling. All right. Well, look, that's everything. I think that's everything right now. Am I missing any games right now? Going through the slates, making sure that I got every fucking line. I think we got no, I'm missing Gardner-Webb in North Carolina. Gardner-Webb in North Carolina. I'm also missing Oral Roberts in Texas Southern. Oral Roberts played Houston tonight. I'm also missing Alcorn State and Stephen F. Austin. I'm also missing Washington State at Prairie View. And this is one of those Pac-12 at SWAC games, which has been a terrible deal so far for the Pac-12, but I think it's been fantastic. We're also missing JMU Howard. So that's why you get the SGPN app. You'll have access to all of that. We're also missing Queens University down there in Charlotte. They're at LaSalle. And we're missing Penn at Drexel, Dartmouth at Quinnipiac. And I think that is all of them. That's a lot of games, though. So our apologies. The lines are not out on our end. I will see if the chat has any of those. Ryan asks, why are we fading Dayton? I think the main thing with fading Dayton, I do think they're the better roster, but I don't think it's by that much. I think UNLV was getting more competitive as the season went along last year in Kevin Kruger's first season. And I think he did a good job in the portal, grabbing a couple guys. I think they're going to be a better team this year than what we know UNLV of late to be. And then that is a tough trip, like going into Vegas. I find it hard that your players are not gonna be having some fun in Vegas. So,
and Vegas has a bunch of high major transfers as well.
Yeah. Noah in the chat says Quinnipiac's favored by 7.5 over Dartmouth. I will lay the 7.5 with Quinnipiac. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I'll lay the 7.5 as well, but I'm not locking it. I've already been burned enough by Quinnipiac this year.
Yeah. All right. Well, look now. And get the SGPN app for those other picks. I still might lock up JMU or a couple of these teams. But until then, let me rattle through the locks. We are locking up Appalachian State +6 at Louisville. We're riding the plus. What is that? 220 on the money line. We're gonna ride that. We are locking up the Georgetown Hoyas -1 against the Northwestern Wildcats. That is 2 locks. We are locking up. Where's my third lock here? Locking up Temple minus. I actually got it at 3.5, but right now it's 4. But Temple -3.5 or 4 at home against Vanderbilt. We locked up Stony Brook +12 at Rhode Island. Sprinkle some of that money line +555. We locked up Colgate. Bring your toothbrush +7.5 at Syracuse. Oh, I see a JMU line. JMU -9. Should we bet that?
I'm locking that up. The Dukes are good.
Let's do it. Lock up JMU -9 at Howard. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Other locks that I have on the board here. I am locking up. Where are we at here? I'm locking up South Dakota State -4 against St. Bonaventure. I'm locking up Pacific -5 against North Dakota. I'm locking up UNC Wilmington getting 13 at Oklahoma. And then I don't have a lock for a while. Then San Diego State -4.5 at Stanford. Lock. And I believe that does it for me. On to you, McIntyre. Fire away.
I am going to lock up the Appalachian State Mountaineers plus 6.5. I'm going to take the Hoyas in the pick'em against Northwestern. Yeah. Sorry, we just handicapped about 75 games. So Georgetown over Northwestern. Temple minus the 4. Wake minus 10.5. Stony Brook plus 12.5. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line at Rhode Island. Colgate plus 7.5 against Syracuse. New Mexico plus 3.5. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits minus 4.5. Pacific minus 5.5. UNC Wilmington in Norman plus 13. Sprinkle some on that money line as well. Eastern Michigan plus 8. San Diego State plus 4.5 or minus 4.5. San Diego State minus 4.5. That is the Aztecs, and then South Alabama. And we're going to take UNLV plus 5, sprinkle some on the money line as well. And then we just added JMU minus the 9.
Yeah, and I forgot. I also bet St. Peter's minus 4.5 at home against Bucknell. We also do have a line on Washington State. Washington State's laying 12.5 at Prairie View. I will take the 12.5 just based on what we've seen as far as the road games down there to the SWAC. I don't like that from a betting point of view, but what are you doing there?
I'll take the points, but like you said, I don't love it with the whole SWAC.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I think we got most of the lines in there. Lines there. We appreciate everyone that tuned in. Please, if you can, I see we have 40 people watching right now. Shout out to all 40 of you all, and please tell a friend. Folks, we are the College Basketball Experience. Subscribe, tell a friend. We will be back tomorrow night. Also, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We talk college football year-round over there. We talk college basketball year-round over here. Also, check out the College Baseball Experience with Noah Beanick. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Subscribe there. You can watch us. Throw us up on the big screen. Tell the wife, hey, look, I'm being productive. I'm not watching sports right now. I'm watching just guys talk about sports. All right, that's improvement. You can do that. Make sure you give Ryan a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. You can also check him out on the NFL Gambling Podcast and the Ryan and Rush Show. You can find the College Basketball Experience on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Give us a follow, people. What are you doing? I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. And remember, folks, iTunes, 5-star review. It ain't hard to do. All right? It is much harder to cap a 20.5-point dog like we did with the Maine Black Bears today than it is to just get over there. Takes 1 minute out of your day. 1 minute out of your day. Come on, give us a 5-star review. It helps us. Sponsors always say they like that stuff. So let's do that. What else do we got going? Check out, we're in like a crazy era of sports. And Ryan, I don't know if you realize this. We have the Maui Invitational starting in a couple days, right?
Yep.
We also have a tournament in Belfast in a couple days, right? We also have the World Cup. So I was looking at next Friday's schedule, and I was like, man. Or not next Friday, this Friday's schedule, like this upcoming Friday, the 18th, I think it is. And I was like, man, there's games tipping off. There's college basketball games starting at 2 a.m., right? And they go nonstop. But we also have the World Cup starting. So you got 24 hours of sports. My wife is definitely going to hate me this next couple months. I don't know how I'm going to be able to salvage this marriage of mine, but you gotta buy her something really nice right before next Friday. I'm telling you. I know you're engaged, right?
Yep.
But I'm telling you, we gotta plan. We gotta come up with a blueprint on how
we got to come up with our game plan. Exactly. No, this Thursday we have the Charleston Classic and the Myrtle Beach Classic tipping off at 8:30 your time, 11:30 my time.
Dude, it's like the next 4 weeks of sports. Oh man, it's awesome, but it's just there's only so many lies I can tell before I'm just throwing 30-mile-an-hour heat. You know what I mean? Honey,
no
sorry.
doubt.
I'm gonna go check out the aquarium today. Colby, that doesn't sound like you. No, I've recently got into fish. I just want to check out. Can I come with you? No. It's like it's kind of zen for me. I need to be alone. Anyway, check out the NFL Gambling Podcast. Like I said, the World Cup's around the corner. The Soccer Gambling Podcast. I highly recommend that. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast because we're going to be talking about all of those everything that's going on. Check out the NBA Gambling Podcast. Check out the NHL Gambling Podcast. Hey, if maybe you like Canadian football, the fucking Grey Cup's around the corner. Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast. Oh, man. Just get the SGPN app. You'll have access to all of that. Come talk college hoops in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And, let's enjoy just a crazy sports time. All right. This is the college basketball experience for November 15th. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Yeah, it's got me thinking about the good shit. The minute that I seen your grill again, it made me good trip. Good dog the mind back like dog rewind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit the can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction.